An old Hadzabe grandmother sat beside a small fire. Her grandchildren gathered close. The night was calm, and the sounds of nature, crickets, distant birds, and rustling leaves filled the air. The grandmother's voice was gentle, but serious. "My children," she began, "I am no longer as strong as I once was. My legs are slow, and my eyes do not see as far. Soon, you must learn to watch over yourselves and each other." The children leaned closer, sensing the weight of her words. "There is something you must never forget," she continued. "Long ago, before you were born, our land was the same as it is now. Beautiful, full of life, full of food, but it was also dangerous." She paused, letting the fire crackle. "There was a lion, a great one. We called him Leon. He was clever, patient, and strong. He did not fear people like other animals do." The youngest child whispered, "What did he do, grandmother?" The grandmother's eyes reflected the firelight. "Leon took my father. Then, seasons later, he took my mother. And even my grandfather, who was the strongest hunter of our people. Leon took him too." The children gasped softly, holding on to each other. "That is why I tell you this," she said firmly. "Nature is beautiful. It gives us water, food, and life, but it does not belong to us. We are part of it, and we must respect it." She looked at each child one by one. "When you walk in the bush, walk together. When you hear silence where there should be sound, be alert. When you see tracks, understand their story, and never think you are stronger than the wild." The fire flickered lower. "But most important," she said, her voice softening again, "take care of each other. We survive because we stay together. We listen, we learn, we protect one another." The children nodded quietly. Above them, the stars stretched across the sky, ancient and watchful. And in the distance, carried by the wind, came the faint echo of a lion's call, reminding them that the grandmother's story was not just about the past, but about the world they still lived in. The fire burned low and steady, its orange glow lighting the faces of the children gathered around their grandmother. The night felt bigger somehow, as if the darkness itself was listening. The old woman shifted slightly, wrapping her shawl tighter around her shoulders. Her voice came slowly, like footsteps on dry earth. "My children, listen carefully. This story is not just a story. It is our memory. It is how we stay alive." The wind moved through the trees, and somewhere far away, a hyena laughed. "When I was young," she continued, "I ran faster than all the other girls. I could follow tracks across hard ground. I could climb trees and carry water without resting. I believed I was strong." She gave a small, quiet smile. "But the land teaches all of us the same lesson. No one is stronger than nature." The children sat still, their eyes wide. In those days, our people moved often. We followed the animals, the honey, the water. The land was generous. We ate well. We laughed much. She paused and stared into the fire. But there was a lion, not like the others. "Leon," one child whispered. "Yes," she said softly, "Leon." The name seemed to settle into the night. He was not just strong, he was patient. He watched, he learned us. The grandmother drew a line in the dust with a stick. Most lions hunt and leave. They fear people. Leon, he did not. He came close, too close. The fire cracked loudly, making one of the younger children jump. My father was the first, she said. The children leaned in. He was a hunter, brave, careful. One morning, he went out before the sun rose. He saw tracks, but he thought they were old. He did not see Leon watching from the grass. Her voice lowered. He never came back. The children held their breath. We searched, we called his name, but the bush does not always give back what it takes. A long silence followed. After that, she continued, we became more careful. We stayed closer together. We kept the fires burning at night. She looked up at the stars, but Leon was still there. Her hand trembled slightly as she spoke. My mother, she was gathering berries with other women. They were talking, laughing for a moment. They forgot to watch, just a moment. The grandmother closed her eyes briefly. That was enough. The children shifted closer to each other. And my grandfather, she said, her voice tightening. He was the strongest of us all. A great hunter, he said. I will find this lion. I will end this fear. She shook her head slowly. He tracked Leon for days. He followed him across dry riverbeds, through tall grass, into the hills. The fire dimmed slightly as the woods settled. But Leon was not just strong, he was clever. She looked at the children again, her gaze sharp despite her age. The hunter became the hunted. No one spoke.
Same here.
Next Hadzabe story.
Sipiti, mana ako.
Little Tuya sat quietly beside the fire, holding a small stick and tracing circles in the ash. The fire was small that morning, just enough to warm the hands, not to chase away the light of the rising sun. Little Tuya sat close to it, carefully turning a piece of food over the glowing coals. Her face was calm, focused, her small hands moving with care as she copied what she had seen her grandmother do many times before. Nearby, a quiet animal sat watching, a panda. It chewed slowly, peacefully, as if it had always belonged there beside her. Tuya smiled softly. "You like this?" she asked in a whisper, holding up a small piece. The panda blinked and continued eating. Behind her, the grandmother watched in silence for a moment before speaking. "You are learning," she said. Tuya turned slightly, her eyes bright. "I want to be strong like you." The old woman shook her head gently. "Strength is not only in the hands." She stepped closer, and sat beside her. It is in how you see, how you listen, how you care. The fire crackled softly. For a while, there was only the sound of chewing fire and morning birds. Then Tuyatui spoke again. Grandmother, is the lion still out there? The question hung in the air. The panda paused, then continued eating. The grandmother looked toward the trees, her expression calm but distant. Yes, she said quietly, the wild does not forget itself. Tuyatui lowered her gaze to the fire. I am not afraid, she said, though her voice was small. The grandmother placed a hand gently on her shoulder. Fear is not your enemy, she replied. It is a voice. You must learn when to listen to it. The breeze shifted. For a moment, the birds stopped singing. Tuyatui noticed. Her hands froze, the panda stopped chewing. The forest grew still. The grandmother did not move quickly. She simply leaned closer and spoke in a low voice. What do you feel? Tuyatui swallowed. It's quiet. The grandmother nodded. That quiet is not empty. It is a message. Tuyatui slowly stood, staying close. The fire popped, sending a small spark into the air. Then, from somewhere beyond the trees, a faint movement. Not loud, not fast, but there, watching, waiting. Tuyatui's heart beat faster, but she remembered. Do not run, do not panic. Stay together. The grandmother gently added more wood to the fire. The flames grew stronger, pushing light outward. The panda shifted closer to Tuyatui. Minutes passed. Then slowly, the birds began to sing again. The tension faded. The unseen presence moved away. The grandmother exhaled softly. You see now, she said. Tuyatui nodded. Yes, the land speaks. The old woman smiled. And today, you listened. Tuyatui looked at the fire, then at the forest, then at the small companion beside her. In that quiet moment, she understood something deeper. Even in peaceful, beautiful moments, the wild is always alive. And survival is not about being fearless. It is about being aware, staying together, and respecting every living thing around you. The fire burns softly in the pale light of morning, its warmth gentle against the cool air. Little Tuyatui sat close, her small hands carefully turning the food over the coals, just as her grandmother had taught her. Her movements were slow, careful, trying to be perfect. Nearby, the panda sat quietly, chewing, its soft eyes watching her every move. It felt like a peaceful moment. Too peaceful. Tuyatui smiled faintly. I'm doing it right, aren't I? She whispered, more to herself than anyone else. Behind her, the grandmother watched in silence. For a moment, she did not answer. Then she spoke, her voice soft but heavy. You are learning. Tuyatui turned quickly, her face lighting up. I want to be strong like you, she said. The grandmother's expression changed. Just slightly, a shadow passed through her eyes. My child, she said gently, I was never as strong as you think. Tuyatui frowned. But you survived everything. The old woman slowly sat beside her, her bones stiff, her hands worn with time. Yes, she said quietly, but survival is not always strength. The fire cracked. Tuyatui looked down. Then what is it? The grandmother did not answer right away. She reached out and adjusted the food in the fire, her hands steady despite their age. It is lost, she said finally. It is remembering and still choosing to live. Tuyatui's smile faded. The panda stopped chewing for a moment, as if it could feel the shift in the air. Grandmother, Tuyatui whispered. Do you still think about them? The old woman's eyes drifted far away beyond the trees, beyond the morning light, every day. Her voice trembled slightly. I still hear my father's footsteps when the wind moves. I still see my mother's hands when I gather food and my grandfather. She paused, swallowing. I still wait for him sometimes, even now. Tuyatui's eyes filled with tears. But they're gone, she said softly. The grandmother nodded. Yes, and that is why you must listen to me. She gently held Tuyetuye's hands, small, warm, full of life. The lion.
Tulia jamaa. Cha unani?
Next Hadzabe story. Little Tuyetuye sat quietly beside the fire, holding a small stick and tracing circles in the ash. The grandmother's words still echoed in her mind. The land speaks. You must learn to listen. The night was calm, but Tuyetuye felt something different in the air. Grandmother, she asked softly, how do we know when danger is near? The old woman looked at her with calm eyes. You do not always see danger first, she replied. Sometimes you hear it or feel it. She pointed toward the trees. Listen. The children became silent. At first they heard nothing. Then slowly, the usual night sounds changed. The insects grew quiet, the birds stopped calling. Tuyetuye's heart began to beat faster. Do you feel it? The grandmother asked. Tuyetuye nodded. Yes, it feels empty. The grandmother nodded. That emptiness is a warning. From the distance, a branch snapped. All the children turned their heads at once. The grandmother did not move quickly. She simply stood up and said calmly, "Stay close. Do not run. Do not panic." The fire was strengthened, the flames rising higher. The light pushed back the darkness. Tuyetuye stayed close to the others, remembering the lesson. Not strength, not speed, awareness. The sounds of the night slowly returned again. Crickets, wind, distant movement. The danger, whatever it was, passed by unseen. Tuyetuye looked up at her grandmother. "I understand now," she whispered. The grandmother smiled. "You are learning." And in that moment, Tuyetuye realized something important. In the wild, survival was not only about hunting or running. It was about listening, staying together, and respecting the balance of nature. Next story. Little Tuyetuye and the morning tracks. Before the sun rose, little Tuyetuye woke up to the soft movement of the camp. The fire was still warm, and the air carried a cool morning breeze. She noticed her grandmother already awake, looking at the ground near the edge of the camp. "Grandmother," Tuia Tuia asked, rubbing her eyes, "why do you wake up so early?" The old woman pointed to the ground. "Because the land leaves messages while we sleep." Tuia Tuia walked closer and looked down. In the soft soil, there were fresh tracks, clear and deep. "Are these animal tracks?" she asked. The grandmother nodded slowly. "Yes, and they tell a story." Tuia Tuia knelt down, studying them carefully. Which animal made them? The grandmother crouched beside her. "Look at the shape, the size, the distance between steps." Tuia Tuia followed the marks with her fingers. "They are large and heavy, walking close to our camp." The grandmother's voice became serious. "Very good. And what does that mean?" Tuia Tuia thought for a moment. "It means something strong passed by here while we were sleeping." The grandmother nodded again. "Exactly, not all danger comes loudly, some pass quietly." Tuia Tuia looked around nervously. "Is it still here?" The grandmother smiled gently. "We do not know, but we prepare, we observe, and we stay together." She stood up and called the others. "Look at the ground before you step, learn what walks around you. The land will guide you if you pay attention." The children gathered, studying the tracks.
Aduh, nenaki doon. Hapo Mwalimu Daudi. Mana ako di pa nichi onta mana.
Abi investigate abi kwa data sina juzi na tu
La mi bai pada tosa kwa mana base.
wala pina buta. So kwa
Atoka aba.
Nakanacha ni ko ba men ego. Afe ya.
Akuna nakulu kulu le kwa cha.
Kaya te talanga lu ate.
Tete na lua ono.
Mia
nanda
talanga.
muda mafi.
Oh, anzata chula. Tete.
Apa isa banga na kakhele
Tena kwa shato wa bengile be.
Aye, chili.
Mana katanga.
So wa shiye usuko na tanana top.
Ikhate.
So wa shiye ta.
Ela be akune ono. Tata ati tena senseme.
Tete ba ta o ma.
Timiga ko ina ko ye ko ba ta kwenta.
Agwada.
Kimbimbi.
Akauza mali.
Iye un so shiwe ya lungu kuma agwe ko fire ma he.
Moja mia. Lo amakijiwe.
Iko nice.
Ngada manina. Wani mo ko ya.
Kani.
Tata aye ke he.
Mana katani na ta.
Iko.
Ona mataka ya sambata oma mataka ya sambata ona. Mbata ema mataka ya ta izaqamba mbi.
Ko ita ngwa kwa ka jam. Tega malaka sa. Ta yes. Kwa ita ngwa ko no kwa ta.
So seme.
Sikige picha.
Mataka ya kae ushwenta ta yeke.
Mbata mema ukane mataka
Tashino kwa mbata
Mbata
akata.
kwezo wakasa kwa
Kama taka ya kae.
mataka za kamba. Afia ita mwana.
Akui. Tashino kwa ta mana. Mataka ya so apena kae. Ya kan weku.
Alafu bamia. Nguruwe biche ya.
Anawa.
Acha ite.
Kisema daktari. Alafu muna bawa
Mwari nguruwe.
Nenda kwa kazi yako. Hayi tete haidira nusa. Tete ofagosha.
Kakwe sota ekwe.
Akame sigero. Kwa hiyo mnakata ipo okay. Ila papel labda hakuna. Pama. Kwa tata washe kote.
Zama ititi dada.
Kwa tata chokotia.
Kadoka kumpenza zamani.
Nenda kuzamia.
Amane achona isawa. Akwebe kwa ende. Mwa ende.
Kaya ichana. Mama kwa
Toka na wewe. Kaa kwa tena sasa. Kuna jaba. Na abe.
la mia yoseme mwanake kapa. Atapatana
Hata ana pe.
Kuna chio.
Tako.
Kuti takwa gono chokoma na pe.
sawa. Ajana ba.
La mio febebe
Na vidonu afiona mwanzo kusina na kwa tata. Oho. Laja kutola. Azabula koma sasa. Aku ya pada bacanya gue. Nimenyoga pale nikakaa pale ndani kwa ndoo nikapopasa bila Mungu wake. Ndio kunywaji hapa.
Ungekunywa tu
Ila tu mwenye.
nyama ungekunywa.
Sasa kitamu.
kumaletea sokota bantu mako wanya.
Sababu ni gaje
Ndio mwangalia angalia wewe tena. Utasema huyu jamaa amenyoa.
Unajua nyingine.
Oh,
Mali ni nyesha leo ni. Chaku ya
na shiti kwa dama hata kukubale.
kitu sio tamu, sio wasafi.
Sebe wao pa ana.
Sio hata unaweza.
Takwe usi jam. Anasema kiadhabu kwamba amesema hivi. Nataka kujamba na kiangoma.
Ajambe tu bwana.
Ding. Achia bado.
Amesha. Alia mas. Nani?
Tuko naye.
Hapo.
Na mimi nimekuja kumwangalia. Ali. Bai yako kwa Ali.
Nakwambia.
Ko onon kusame tabe koko nko Ate te me chao ko yo.
Ona kune one la beauty la la kieta. Ika on.
Konko ya ona kuna kwata ukushu te gabe. Kama te mana kete konko be. Aye. Alafu te ko hena na ke na ono te ko ata ko ozika. Ko ita te ko te ta ko. Ma e chimiska ndi ko ka sa pisi. Tomba ko jaru.
Tumebia moyo ete. Taka isi.
Ngodi na mahana ako kibini ko ima.
Na ako kibini ko nini.
Akasumebi awa nikisal.
Tete. Sabua sata ina mimi.
Tumeka na tabua kwe e. Tuwata be ena.
Konko be ta.
Ya anakata kabisa.
Mkuu ya.
Chiki toso wako na madisi.
Chiki
Hai kaketa kasha.
Zawi.
Mama.
Jam. Wewe umesahau wewe.
Nakuja kubeba vyombo.
Bado picha yetu na udemo huyu demo.
Oh, tuko era.
Teko zinga eto. Teko.
Ni ile ugali ambili mnyonga. Mkuu ya.
Oho!
La jaki sola.
Yeso pura kasang. Shate ate ngo gabi.
Teko tashi.
Ndio mama. Akumata pesa.
Amana.
Malizeni kubuta. Tuondoke. Nenda kuipima.
Ai. Tete ko hii.
Ah?
Tete mama.
Intau.
Na kote kumbe intawezi.
Intawezi. La. Wala naman na ba MI. Ale. Odi.
Jara ka amin da ka agut.
Baba ka ko sa ate enyo mo. Pupunta po ko ka sa bahay.
Ila wala ishona. Kaiza ya David ishona.
Oh, ai abami.
Zaya ten bongo tizi.
Isa kwa pe baba ka chuko.
Ale
Mateko.
ale Engi tree atonene.
Na kusuna kwa baba na pita.
Utae.
Hamela ta khosha baba ka to kukwa onoko ka ta chuta.
Tumateko kaya boko. Isa hako teko. Chacha atonene.
Chumate.
Iba chuta tumbateko haboko ako.
Ila obe baba ye.
Engi italako.
Baba ngata bita aboko iboko kwa ko iko biku ngata baba obe ima eta baba kachoko amena ikwa
Haboko ako tumbate ako.
aboko ako tumbate ko kota
Ba menye bana mbe.
kai alafu tajina agodandara ta ata
Ai, la miko na chia lomba iko.
tiku china ogoni na teko ikwe ko sa khita piki ko sa atatana lomba tiku kawa khana hina
Hama.
bami kwani ko sa atatata akachoko
ye.
ko tiku chia lomba
Misika kawa chuta. Ikatoko.
Ala ko awela.
Akakuita